Hey Internet. Well, today we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're on a trail here called Copperhead. Now, Copperhead is the new cool kid name. I actually know it as just simply Country Park. That's what it was when I moved here. So it's Country Park. So, by the way, I just finished climbing up that. So if you're wondering why I'm a little winded, I need to get the video underway because there's also 1 or 2 million mosquitoes. So try and get this this out if I can. But I want to start off first of all by talking about a story of my biking shoes right here. These biking shoes here, they're also one of those cool kid things. You know, they don't have laces. You bolt them on, I guess is the best way to put it. Some sort of cord tension adjuster. They work great, but you know, they're not my old shoes. I really miss my old shoes. In fact, they were unfortunately they were lost in a theft problem. They were left in a vehicle overnight, and unfortunately the shoes were stolen along with the water bag. And I didn't care too much about my Camelback, the water bag. Those mosquitoes are getting hungry already. I need to keep going because I am kind of allergic to mosquitoes, and if I get 5 or 6 bites, I'm not too bad, but 7 or 8, I might have to get out the EpiPen, so we'll see. But these shoes are fantastic, and when I lost them, I found it was more than just losing a really good pair of riding shoes. It was like losing a friend. I'd bought these in another country. We'd ridden some of the most wild trails that there are around. We rode Flume Trail, Lake Tahoe, and rode Marin Headlands and along the San Andreas Trail, or San Andreas Fault Line. And by the way, tip from a local: when you're riding the San Andreas Fault Line, the fault line isn't what you worry about. You watch the cows. There's a lot of livestock, a lot of cows there. When the cows act funny, that's when you worry. Nothing else really is important. But anyway, these shoes that I'd lost, I'd really started to miss them. And when I went into a shoe store looking around, I was talking to the guy, and he said, you can find another pair of shoes that'll replace them, but you'll never find another shoe that was the same. And he was right. And I realized that this thing about this is that you have to just go ahead and let them go. And another time, maybe in the future, somewhere down the road, when I'm riding the mountain bike trails in heaven, we'll see each other again, because as it turns out, shoes have soles. That's stolen from, of course, Red Dwarf. But anyway, yeah, we're talking about soles today, and not shoes. I want to define soul, because I want to talk about a soul, but I don't want to talk about a soul in the sense that it is a spiritual entity, a measurement of some grammage that inhabits a carcass and then somehow goes in and comes out. I don't know if it goes in at the same weight as when it comes out. I don't know if it's part of the birth weight or it's grown into its natural weight and stays at that weight. I don't think we know that yet. But anyway, but we need to define it. So, oh, there's another cyclist coming, so we're just going to go ahead and let him play through. So, if we're going to talk about souls, we have to define it. So, instead of defining a soul as an entity, why don't we define the soul as that which is peering through the eyes? The eyes are the window to the soul. How about that? And since we can define that as a soul, I'm in the forest, by the way. That's a sport bike. I'm not sure how he's going to come through here. So, the eyes are the window of the soul. So, we can define that part of what a soul is, and we can define that which looks through the eyes differently and still wind up at the same definition of soul. So here's my definition of a soul. My definition of a soul is that which is conscious, aware, present, whatever the word is that requires observation to occur, which causes the collapse of a waveform. In other words, that in the double slit experiment that causes the double slit experiment to be so fantastic. The fact that you have a wave and a particle at the same time, the fact that you have observation playing a role in the outcome, quantum physics, right? Okay, so we'll define the soul as that which collapses the waveform. My definition of that which collapses the waveform is kind of unique because my belief is a little bit different. Most people believe that consciousness and humanity is a result of the universe. I believe it's the other way around. The universe is a result of it being observed. The creation of that which we will call a soul, that which looks through the eyes, that which is collapsing the waveform, that's creating the universe in real time, as you see it, as I see it, as everybody sees it, as the bug sees it, as the tree sees it, because we don't know exactly what collapses the waveform, at least I don't. So the soul is that which collapses the waveform. Now, my definition of that which collapses the waveform is basically that which is making the observation. The compendium, if you like, of sensory inputs put together in a quantum matrix, quantum probability field, or quantum computer inside the human brain, or the plant, or the mosquito, which I'm pretty sure I'm up to 4 bites now. So we got to get moving. So that's kind of how I define the soul. That which collapses away from, that's what's looking through the eyes, is really just more of a collection of sensory inputs that's looking through the whole of the eye. So instead of calling it a soul, I'm going to call it a whole. It's the whole. You can even spell that W-H-O-L-E if you like, because that is the whole. That what we see is our existence in our universe. And that's what's collapsing the waveform. And that's what the soul is. Everything that is inside the self that's collapsing the waveform. I don't think I see any mosquitoes here, so we're just going to do a quick kind of a tour here. So we're in a place here called the Dark Territory, and it's kind of a funny place because in the Dark Territory, it's incredibly quiet other than that sport bike. You can barely hear any bugs. In fact, the only bugs are the crickets that are behind me outside of the Dark Territory. Looking down into it, though, it's almost lifeless except for the trees. There's nothing. And this area of the Dark Territory goes up against another area where there used to be a jail beside a battleground where many battles took place in the Civil War, and it wasn't good. In fact, if I point right that direction right there, I know where it is. You can't see it. There's a gravestone from the Civil War that just never got moved. And this is the Dark Territory. Now, not only do virtually no other life forms come here, except of course as mountain bikers, but also the light kind of shines differently. You see this is the Dark Territory. I'll turn around even over here outside of the Dark Territory. Light is almost a different color. There it is down here. Now I'm going to go down this trail here straight into the abyss of the Dark Territory, so it's time for me to sign off. Thanks for watching, Internet.